Welcome back. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is okay. Yep, D, I set that up. Yep. S Taylor, how you doing? Black Dub 21, how are you? See what we got online today. How's everybody week? Year's almost over. What you gonna do with yourself? And tell me you got a New Year's resolution. You're gonna start studying in January for your RHCSA. Don't tell me that. I've heard it for 9 years straight. Also, don't tell me you're looking to get in Linux and you're gonna have to wait till the new year. It's too late. You should be starting. You should be researching now. You should have an outline of everything. What you're gonna do, how you're gonna be, what's up with the bankhead bounce. What's up, what's up? What's up with the bankhead bounce? Oh, what's up, what's up? What's up with the bankhead bounce? Right? Should be bouncing all over the place. You should be like, oh, I got it. Hmm. Just bring back memories. I ain't gonna play the song in the video. But you most definitely can see the bankhead bounce. Let me switch for this account. That's what we supposed. That's what they supposed to do in the new year. That bankhead bounce supposed to be just like that, just that fast. Put it on the screen, D. That's how fast they supposed to be going. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Let me pull it back up. You should be out here like just like this. You should be out here just like this. Bankhead bounce. Pop, 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 pop. That's how it should be. You should be out here bankhead bouncing. Pop, 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 pop. What's up? What's up? What's up with the bankhead bounce? What's up? What's up? Yeah, the 90s. Bankhead bounce. Yeah, and then bankhead. Look at that. Oh, bring it up. Let me stop with y'all. Let's get cracking this morning. Let's get cracking. All right. So Tennessee doesn't have enough people to come work and fill jobs. Anybody looking for work, Tennessee is apparently the place to be. So let's talk about that. Blow it up a little bit here. Tennessee is facing a chronic labor shortage, and many employers are calling for the state to step up its efforts to train and educate new workers. Remember, training is going to always pay. So, setting up some type of training curriculum, school, or whatever, that's going to always pay. Even if every unemployed person seeking to work in Tennessee got hired today, it wouldn't nearly be enough to satisfy the demands from the employers. There will still be 64,000 jobs left unfilled. So you know what's going to happen, right? Either they're going to automate or companies die off. So you got to figure it out. So Don Bruce, director of Boyd Center for Business and Economic Research at the University of Tennessee presented the statistic to a panel of economic leaders last month. Bruce said he suspect Tennessee business would be hiring more if we had enough people to fill positions. Unemployment remains at a near historic lows in Tennessee, meaning the pool of potential employees is particularly small. About 61% of the business leaders surveyed this summer reported a lack of appropriately trained workers. More than half of the business leaders called a state to bolster its training and education programs to help employees develop technical skills and good work habits. Tennessee isn't alone. Labor shortages have become a national issue in several sectors, including childcare and healthcare. Right? It says Bruce said the shortage in Tennessee is tied to dueling trends. The share of people looking for work has fallen, and the demand for employees has ticked up. Federal data shows workforce participation rate in Tennessee this fall is 59.4%, down from the low 60s before the pandemic. All right, so let's go and look and see who are the biggest employers in Tennessee. All right, so far we got Nissan, Vanderbilt, the federal government employs 12,000 people in the area, and Tennessee government employs 17,000. Clayton Homes, 5,000. Denso Manufacturing employs 5, and Dollywood Splash Country employs 4,500. Other large employers are Blue Cross Blue Shield, St. Jude, University of Tennessee Medical Center. I told you all those places are in R&D areas. Anything you see with medical is always R&D. All right. Let's look at what Zipper has to say, who were the largest ones. All right. So from Zipper's standpoint, it's FedEx, Access Control, Hercules Holdings, Bridgestone, Dollar General, the General Community Health Systems, Quorium Health, and Caterpillar Financial. It said, how did it identify that here at Zipper? We developed a database of 250,000 companies for this report. We looked at companies headquartered in Tennessee with at least 100 employees. That left us with 1,326. We then ranked each company from most to least current employees to determine the biggest companies in Tennessee. As it turned out, FedEx looks like to be the biggest company in Tennessee, clocking 850,000 employees. Now check out the 100 biggest companies in Tennessee by rank, and then they give a list of 100. AutoZone is on there. Cracker Barrel, Segwit James. Cracker Barrel has 55,000 employees in Tennessee. Vanguard Health, 38,000. Renault, Nissan Alliance, American Blue Ribbon, and then they got the various cities as well. The Pilot Flying J, right? So you can go there and check out the tech behind some of these companies. Now let's do this a different way. What are the biggest tech employers in Tennessee? All right, so the biggest tech employers are Amazon, Zeta Global, Genesis AI, De Palma Studios, and App Amigo. Other big companies are AT&T, Apple, Dell, Comcast, T-Mobile, and Asurion. Nashville tech industry is growing. The median salaries that are 76% higher than the city's average. The tech sector contributes to 7.5 billion of the economy. So let me see. This came out all October. All right, so let me blow this up. Zeta Global, Apt, Apto Global, Change Healthcare, Toast, Core 10, Education, Aristocrat, Uniguest, Decode Health, Emma, Motive, Iron Galaxy Studios, Clean Blocks. Oh yeah, thank you. Right Industries, People 3, so forth and so on. Tech companies, these are tech companies that are in Tennessee. You can take this and run with it, figure out what they need or whatnot. Um, I would probably take this list right here and filter out this list. You probably run this list through Chat GPT and have it search jobs for you. If y'all missed out on the meetup on Wednesday, you missed a doozy. Well, we took jobs and then made interview questions from the job um, from the from the job description and turned around and then drilled down more into the actual interview questions and responses to those interview questions and personas with those responses. Better way to study, and so forth. Which, which I'm gonna hop around here. I have some stuff here, but let's go hop around here. So, skill based hiring is helping tech companies dig out a talent shortage. So, those take home tests, they're doing skill. They're just looking at your skills, how you answer, how long it take you to do stuff, how you organize your thoughts. What does that look like? But now I'm a I'm a stop here because I think this one is a little bit more important than that. All right, the future of work isn't in tech skills. Now, sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm saying the future of work is in both your tech skills, and this one goes into the communication skills. All right. So let's get busy on this one, then I'll hop back over to the other. All right. In conjunction with, um, I'm gonna start reading this, and then I'll hop back over. But let's just keep in our back of our minds that um when we're looking at this, we're talking about being a T-shaped individual. I could say engineer, I could say analyst. You can say T-shaped X. Let's say that, right? Meaning the T-shape, and I've talked about this before. T-shape engineer, but like I said, I'm calling it just be T-shape anything. And I just want to get a visual over here. Let me see if they got a visual. Of course they don't. Let's go to images, right? Where your T shape, and this is I like that one, the other one that was there right here. I like this one. Right? Where you may understand some general knowledge about the web, about infrastructure, about UXAI. You may even understand Kubernetes. You may understand K8s, K3s. You may even understand Linux. And that's your going across the T, like you got a broad scope of ideas and knowledge, right? But then within all of this, you may have some core discipline that you just really focusing on. Some people are really, really, really good at everything VMware. Some people are very good at everything Active Directory. Some people are very good at everything just networking. Some people are very good at automation, right? So Bash may be your go-to. You may utilize Python or Rust or C++ or C or whatever the case may be. That's your thing, right? But again, being that T-shaped engineer, I think you have to add in communication on this as well as we talk about it. So let's get back to it. I hope that made sense. All right. So if there's one thing Terry Petzold knows about how to stand out in the job market and get hired, is it's that in-demand technical skills and can come and go. I said for 25 years of experience in recruiting, and is currently a managing partner at Fox Search Group, an executive recruitment firm for tech leaders. Take the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence, for example. Just 2.5 years ago, anyone was saying we need to hire coders. Now I'm gonna pause here for a second because I wanna back up here. Let's go look up his Fox Search Group. Now, when I think about places like this, right? I think about one that group is gonna help you get your resume together. They're gonna go. They're gonna help you put your best foot forward for everything, and they're gonna go do the work for you and help you negotiate. I would think that's what this would look like. I never used one. Maybe I'll do one for my next one. Maybe I'll use one for my next job. If I use one for my next job, put it together, pay them, let them go do all the talking for me. Mm-hmm. It's a thought. All right. Take rapid advancements in AI, for example. Just 2.5 years ago, everyone was saying we need to hire coders. I was even talking to my own children about, oh, maybe we need to go go the crowd coding route. Not 6 months later, Chat GPT comes out, and now coding is not the future. To be sure, having up to date digital skills is important for workers across industries and career levels. If you're in marketing or if you're in a warehouse, you need to understand technology. Yo, let me tell you something. Let's put this on the big screen. Blow me up deep. Blow me up deep. One of the big things that I see that is lacking for most people is y'all don't want to read. You don't want to read. You don't want to take the time to dive into the topic and then apply it. I don't know if we gotten so caught up in responding versus reading, right? Responding versus reading, right? And when I say that, I mean like I'm guilty of this. How many of y'all get your phone and you open up the box and you don't read the manual? How many of y'all don't read the? How many of y'all read the manual that come with your phone? How many of you go online and actually read the manual and learn all the tips and tricks that come with your phone? Now you may go online and look it up, but how many of y'all actually read the manual? Right now, let's flip this. How many of you understand what you read and can take what you have read and apply it to something? Now, a lot of people say, I'm a visual learner. Great. Nothing wrong with being a visual learner. But can you take what you have learned visually and break it down to someone who needs to understand the technology? Right? It's one thing for you to understand it, it's another thing for you to teach what you know. And I think the best way to do that is you have to be constantly teaching someone else something or constantly improving on how you communicate what you've learned. Right? Casual Cutting said, I read the manual for most of my products I buy. Kudos to you. Let's give let's give a round of applause today for Casual Economists. Because I don't. I don't. I can tell you now I don't. It says that's a fact. I am learning Linux now, and I was recommended to read the Phoenix Project, and it's really helped me change my perspective about it. Right, opening up your mind. You got to open up your mind. Right. So let's get back to it. Says, but because companies can train workers on learning developing tech to serve their business, Pizzo says leaders are most interested in hiring people with a different set of skills. I'll tell you where the future is, he says. It's not even necessarily in technology space, it's in soft skills, it's in emotional intelligence. Uh, and I often say this. I think just for my tenure in tech, I find people always say they're a leader, right? And I'm just going to generalize here, men and women. But what I find is people who have worked through the process and up, meaning they started out as a help desk technician, they moved over into say networking, and then they did backup, and then they did Linux, and then they become a lead engineer, and then move into manager. As those people grow and go along, I think those people lead with empathy. I think people who have no idea what the people have to go through at all can't wrap their head around things and can't lead with empathy. That's just my personal experience. Maybe other people have that. That's just Tam's theory. That people who have worked in positions can empathize and say, "Oh, I can understand how you could get caught up on this." As 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 someone who experienced or lead, I am going to help you get over that hump and put you in position where you can, like, to me, your manager should be setting you up for success. Your manager should be setting you up for to work your way and automate yourself out of your position, but at the same time help you get to the next phase in your career, not beat you down because they don't understand something or because they can't wrap their head around something. That's just my thought. That's leading with empathy, to say that, hey, I identify your unique skills, I identify the things in you, and so now I want to sit down and talk to you, and here's where I think you should be headed, and now let's work on a plan to get you there, not work on a plan to phase you out of your position, but plan to move you into the next position. And then make sure you have a plan to get someone else to come into your position. So you should be training up someone on your team to pull into your position. But I often don't see that from managers. What I see from managers is, I'm going to stay a manager. I'm going to be in this position, and that's just what I'm going to do. I don't never see a manager say, I'm going to be in, I have a goal, and this is just me. I have a goal. I want to be in this position for 2 years, and then I want you to come get into my position afterwards. I never see that. I see everybody for themselves, and you got to be everybody for themselves. And whatever you do, you better make me look good. But there's no camaraderie with making you look good. There's no camaraderie with making you look good and the individuals look good. It's all about making me look good. I just never seen it. Just my thoughts. You all tell me. You said you're not reading because I'm surrounded with people who don't read. That don't make sense. You're supposed to read. Because the people around you don't read. That don't mean you don't read. You know what? Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna send it to myself. I think I know I sent it out this morning, and it made so much sense to me. Let me see. Yeah, let me see if I can send this to myself. Let's see, because it made so much sense to me. I think sometimes you have to hear it from somebody else for it to be like, "Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. That made sense now." All right, let me go here. Engineering cannabis, you say manager always fighting fires reactive. Not probably, yeah. They don't believe in being proactive. It's like, what do I can go on. I don't want to get caught up, but I can go on. All right, so let me do this. Let me do this. Do, 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 do. Let me grab. Oh yeah, I gotta grab it and put it into something else anyway. Let me do this. The Shailin. Okay. All right. Let me close this one. And let me turn the sound on this one.
This one thing.
Let me blow. All right. So I heard this morning from this therapist here. Let me make sure my sound is up. And it says the root of mental illness is confusion. And I find and I find that just in this past 3 or 4 years, like I said, a lot of people don't read, so they always end up in this utter circle of confusion because they won't read and they're waiting for you to explain something to them. But you can literally hand a person a piece of paper that summarizes everything and they still won't read it because they're waiting for you to tell them. And you're like, why I gotta tell you when it's right there in black and white for you to read? Like, I'm one of them people. Don't tell me. Put it on a piece of paper and give me the details, and I'm gonna go read that. That's what I'm gonna do. Ali, you posted that twice. Which niche do you see shrinking among T-shaped skills and domains? Depends on you. That T-shape is for you. That's and you only. Everybody's skill sets is different, so that's something you have to ask yourself. All right, let's go.
At the root of mental illness is confusion. And anybody can be confused. Confusion is the common denominator in mental illness. So be careful of the people around you creating confusion. Clarity is the antidote to confusion. If you want to mitigate confusion, you have to ask for clarity and pay attention to the response for clarity. Because some people want you to be confused so they can take advantage of you. And these people are confused too. And they become a big threat to your emotional health and well being. And that's why we keep preaching boundaries. Boundaries will protect your emotional health and well being. You have to understand the dynamics of boundaries. It is more than telling people no. Boundaries protect your emotional and physical integrity. Protecting the integrity of something means that you keep it in its original form. The original form is emotional health. The most valuable thing that we can have is a healthy mind and healthy body. And the boundaries help us achieve that. Boundaries is in the space between clarity and confusion.
Made sense to me. I don't know about y'all, but it made sense to me. So you'll get co-workers, you'll get managers that live in a constant and a perpetual state of confusion. They live in a constant, perpetual state of being insecure and threatened by your very existence. They live in a constant state of second guessing themselves and acting outward. I don't know. I know the ladies remember this growing up, and fellas, you probably remember this too. Ladies, remember growing up, you was like, why this boy is always picking on me? If he picking on you, he throwing rocks at you, or he pushing you, and then they be like, and they would say to us, that's because he like you. I'm gonna throw a rock at you. I'm gonna push you to show you that I like you. Right. So, and I thought about this for a very long time, and I was like, so what women were being taught, what little girls were being taught, if he abuses me, then he likes me. And they're like, you need to accept that abuse because it is a way of him showing that he likes you. So, as we get older, people are like, why black women and black men are act the way they act. They've been doing that for a very long time. Like, he likes you. And the boys be like, well, and I've had several young, when growing up, boys, and when we got adults, they was like, I used to pick on you because I liked you. I had one guy spit in my face when I was in high school, and I saw him out years later after we chased him around school because we was getting ready to jump him. It was some other boys that was standing there when he did it, and they was like, oh no, you ain't gonna just do that. And we ran around the school looking for him, and he went and told on himself. And he went and told on himself. And I ran into him. I got suspended from school because they were like, y'all were gonna beat him up. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's why he went and told. He knew it wasn't safe. And I ended up getting suspended. My cousin came into the office and found out that he had spit on me, and she yoked him up by his collar, slapped him in the face a couple of times. He went home. The assistant principal asked, did your cousin come in here? I said, I didn't see anything. I didn't see nothing. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see nothing. Long story short, I ended up getting suspended, and finally, like maybe probably 8 years later, I see him out I see him out at a club. And at the time, at the time I was with my husband, and I had told him this story, what happened in high school, this and that. And that guy looked at me, and he was like, let me buy y'all a drink. Let me get y'all a bottle or anything. He's like, I just wanted to tell you the reason why I did is because I liked you. So you spit in my face because you liked me. I don't make these things up. I don't make these things up. Right. Um, but I'm simply going here to say, in terms of skills, having empathy, having not even just empathy, just having the ability to listen to someone and help them come up with a solution to help them solve their problem is what most people are looking for. And when you're at work, most people want to be acknowledged for what they've done and what the next steps are and how they can help lead to the next level, right? As a manager, my goal is not for me to be sitting in this position forever. My goal is to get up and walk out of the position and do something greater, build up people, build up their skill sets for them to be better, right? It's nothing like getting in a job where the job is going to have your skill sets at a dead end. Being in a dead end job is like career suicide, right? It's career suicide, it is mental health suicide, and it is also retirement suicide. And let me explain. Career suicide. You stay in that position forever, you don't gain any skills, so therefore you're not marketable. When you're not marketable, then that means you can't get employed. When you can't get employed, that means you run through your money. And in particular, most people start pulling from their retirement or the emergency fund or whatnot. Now you're in the hole. Now you got mental health issues because now you don't have any marketable skills. And oh, by the way, you got to spend time getting those skills up so that you can be marketable again. And oh, by the way, you're also competing with people who are probably ahead of the game because you're mentally beaten down and now you're fighting to get back in the game. So now you almost kind of like got to reset and start over. Don't reset and start over. Use the job that you're in to gain more skills. If you don't walk away with a new skill set, with a new certification in that job, in the job that you're in right now, you have done yourself a disservice and you've allowed them to do a disservice to you. Right? Be prepared for layoffs. Be prepared for whatever happens. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is you got to constantly read, two, understand where the industry going, and three, make sure that you know that the skill sets that you have are marketable. I don't care if you do it for consulting. I don't care if you do it for whatever the case may be. But you're gonna have to get up and understand every single day that it's not that somebody's coming to get your job, is somebody is looking to get hired to be in the position that you're in. If you're working, someone is looking to be in the position that you're in. If you are in a position, someone is looking over their shoulder at you, right? I've been told for the past couple of weeks, people been jealous about stuff. And I just like, why? Let me tell you this. This cracks me up all the time. It cracked me up when I was in Colorado. It cracks me up now. Just because you have certain things and people don't have certain things in their mind, they think you just got it. Number one, people don't know your background. They don't know if your mom and dad had money, you got an inheritance. They don't know if you have won the lottery. No one knows nothing about you. But all they see is you got these things. They don't know what it took for you to get those things. They don't know what you had to do to get those things. They don't know how much you worked. They don't know how much you cried at night. They don't know the travels you had to do, the reading you had to do, the implementation, and they most damn sure don't know how many no's that it took for you to get there. And all they're gonna say is you got this and I don't have that. But they don't see all the no's that it took for you to get there. They don't see you had 35 no's before you got one. Yes. You got that one yes and just knew what to do with it. You got that one yes and was able to maneuver and make it and understood and provided the business value and understood the bottom line and the customer and understood where you need to be and where you want to go. You took the opportunity and you thrived in it. They took the opportunity and worked in it. That's the difference. You take the opportunity and thrive. They take the opportunity to work. Two different things. Getting in the opportunity to work, you're gonna be there forever. But getting in a place to thrive and be excellent and excel and present nothing but excellence, it has nothing. And a friend of mine brought this up to me the other day, and I've been sitting on it for a long time when she brought it up. And it was about the 48 laws of power: never outshine your master. And my thing is, and I don't really subscribe to that. I get it, but I don't subscribe to it. Right? Your goal is to make them look good, but their goal is also to make you look good. It's reciprocity. If my goal is to make you look good, what you gonna do for me? You're my manager. You're supposed to be guiding. You're supposed to be in pushing us forward, giving us that runway to be great. I don't subscribe to that. I'm sorry. I get it. I just don't subscribe to it. What I do get is, and now what I do understand is, if I'm leading with excellence, you damn sure better pick up and understand I'm leading with excellence, and you need to do the same way as well. We all are here to be excellent. We all are here to thrive. And if we didn't come in a place to thrive and you don't want to be on the thriving team, you ain't got to work here. You ain't got to work here. Yeah. Same position. How can you afford that? You know how many times people be asking me like, how you get that Porsche? I worked, but I thrived in what I did. I pushed. I didn't sit on the sideline. Tell you the story about me having my Porsche. And I didn't see him when I went to the dealership yesterday or the other day. Um, I had when I first moved to Florida, I bought a Ford Explorer, got a Ford Explorer. Well, I had a Ford Explorer when I came down here. But when I got down here, the fuel injection was going out. It was still under warranty. It had like maybe like 3 days left on the warranty. I took it in. And he's like, luckily you came in time because it was getting ready to expire. I was like, great, replace it. So they replaced it. And then probably like 3 weeks go by, and I'm coming from Sarasota, getting ready to hit the Skyway Bridge. And then the actual car started breaking down again. It would stop. I was flooring it and one nothing happening. I said, oh no, no, no. No, no, we're not gonna do that. So what did I do? I sat down, I looked at what I was able to do, and I was like, I always wanted a luxury vehicle. And I said I wanted a nice luxury vehicle. And I said I want to stay in the SUV. I went and looked at Infinity. I went and looked at all these other cars and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, I don't like all that. So I ended up with a Mercedes. Now, when I first went and started looking for a Mercedes, I went over to one in Tampa, and they were like, for this car that was 76,000 used, they was like, at the end of the 5-year term, you would have paid like $200,000. Like, why would I pay that for that? That don't make no sense. And I kept saying to God, say, this really don't make sense. So you saying to me that I'm giving you $10,000 now, and at the end of this, I'm being paid 200,000. I said, why can't I just get a Lamborghini then? Like, that don't make no sense. So I went down to Sarasota. Now, the guy that worked in Sarasota was brothers with the one that worked in that worked at the one in Tampa. And I was like, I ain't feeling y'all. So I left. I went to another dealership. They worked it, got me in that day and out the same day. And I've been working and riding with them ever since. Now, let's fast forward. I get that Mercedes. And in the apartment complex that I stayed in, people were like, yo, yeah, we see you driving that car, blah, 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 blah. You switched from that Ford to this Mercedes, this, that, and other. And the question is, how can you afford something like that? It was, how can you afford something like that? I'm like, I don't get the line of question. Like, how can I afford something like that? Like the mindset of is I'm better than you automatically. Number two, the mindset was you don't make more than me. You make peanuts, right? And I've told this story before. And what it came down to is they were like, "Well, you must be getting alimony from your ex husband." I'm like, "I'm not getting no alimony from my ex husband." I'm like, I don't get nothing. This is just so happened I work in a field where I make money. I'm sorry, you don't think that I could do that, but yeah. And then it came down to, like I say, big bank take little bank. He was like, "You don't make more than me." I was like, "Well, actually, I do make more than you." And I was like, let's look at the deposit from my paycheck stub from your paycheck stub. And if my paycheck stub deposit is bigger than yours, you just hand me over your paycheck stub. I got mine ready. Let's go. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just simply saying when it comes to situations like this, people have their own mindset of what it is they think about you and how they perceive you and what they think, and limit the possibilities of who you are because of their own possibilities, because their own limitations. That's why I posted that. That's why I pulled up that video. The boundaries, being able to thrive and not work in a position is two different things. Next time you in an interview, ask them what are my what are the next steps for me to get to the next level. I would like to see that written out. As we they'll try to push it to well, we have to see when you get in the da da da. Go ahead and give me my plan now so I can work towards it, so I can thrive. Well, you need to understand the business. Well, explain it to me. Isn't the value to the customer? Don't you have bit aren't what we're working on as a team provides business value and architectural runway and guidance for the customer and the company? That was what we did the other night. That's what we did the other night. That's exactly what we were talking about the other night. I posted it in the Slack. Let me see. That's not it. It's the one with the system engineer. Let me see if I have it up. If not, I have to pull it up. I'll post it on the guide. I'll post it on the community wall. I have to go back through and find it. Let's see. Is it final product? It might be this one. All right. So one of the big things I focused in on the meetup was providing a response to questions about a interview question, right? And it was more or less like revised response with the customer focus and business value in mind. I'm just going to read these off. You don't have any context to them because you wasn't in the meetup uh, Wednesday, but it still ties in line with what I'm talking about now. Okay, so it says here, when diagnosing and resolving performance issues, this was a response to how would you answer an interview question, right? And this is one of the questions, and this is a response to it, right? And it says, when diagnosing and resolving performance issues in complex systems, I take a structured, results driven approach that prioritizes customer impact while aligning the business objectives, right? And that's cool. But let's talk about it from this perspective here. Um, let's go here. Load it up some. All right, that's cool. But that response was cool. And what it was is it was the tone of the response, right? I'm crafting a tone where it's strategic, customer centric, and business oriented, right? Where it's strategic, customer centric, and business oriented. So, in other words, in your interview, you should be working on the at least the actual, I don't want to say group, I want to say project that you're entering into, or the department that you're entering into is working on being strategic, customer centric, and business oriented. And if you don't hear those things as you interview, and if you don't have those things coming full circle as you interview, then you need to ask those questions. How do we work on how do we work how do what we work on, how is that providing business value? What we work on, how is the customer going to receive that business value, or receive that customer experience? And on top of that, you need to be strategic. You need to be strategic with your companies that you pick, the 401k, Roth 401ks that you enter into, the everything. You need to be strategic about all of that. All right. Spin a minds there. All right. So he said the future is not even necessarily the technology space, it's the soft skills, it's the emotional intelligence that is what we're noticing in the future of talent. Soft skills companies look for successful workers and leaders. Emotional intelligence is the ability to manage your own feelings and feelings of who's around you, which can make you better at building relationships and leading in the workplace. Like candidates with great technical skills really succeed when they can demonstrate high EQ. It's good to be specialized in an area of expertise like data security, infrastructure, or enterprise solutions, for instance. But it's really those with strong EQ and those soft skills and business like skills. Those are the future IT leaders, and I keep stressing this. I keep telling you all, it's great that you have the technical skills, but how you relay those technical skills, how you relate with others on teams, and how you thrive. Now, don't get me wrong, that's going to always be a bad apple in the bunch. You're going to always face an asshole. Let's be clear. How you navigate that person is another thing. And then sometimes there's 15 assholes on the team. You got to navigate them too, right? Just being putting it out there. It's good to be specialized in the area. Yeah, yeah, yeah. By hiring professionals with high EQ, Petzold says companies are really looking for people who can do crucial things like handle and deliver constructive feedback, manage conflict, have critical conversations with urgency, work cross functionally by persuading peers and other leaders, and effectively present ideas to leaders above them. The general EQ skills we're noticing really have to do with the communication of others and ability to push through challenges and come out unscathed. He adds that some companies are getting better at helping leaders develop stronger EQ skills, especially around managing effectively and navigating challenges or conflict. Good employers can further develop their workers by offering mentorship programs and facilitating networking, so people can see what good models of leadership and high EQ looks like. But most people don't have good leadership skills. They do not lead with empathy. They expect empathy. A lot of people don't lead with empathy. They expect empathy. They expect you to empathize with them, but they won't empathize with you and they won't lead with it. Jason, that D did answer your question. It depends on how much you want to study. Ali, you said what signal of the people you interviewed that have moved you to bring them aboard? People who actually take the time to listen, take the time to read up on on about the position and ask questions, and then two, taking notes and coming back. That let me know you at least paid attention to what I said and come back to it. I'm pretty sure my soft skills with my knowledge of SQL is what helped me land the data engineer role. They have one last interview on Monday, but I'm sure I got the role. Congratulations, Aunt. Congratulations. All right. All right. Let's go over here. That was his this is his guy that was in that article. This is his website for recruiting and so forth. Let me look and see what kind of resources he got. Scaling IT teams, from home buying to hiring. Think you're the purple candidate. Think again. What's missing? Blah 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 blah. And let's look at candidate. If you want to be a candidate, technical evaluation, you will get your skills assessed and interview with a technical recruiter who will match you with your job that fits your skills. Marketing you to a client, feedback and steps. Urgent, transparent, flexible, deliverable. Managers, architects, and so forth. Well, who do they work with? General Dynamics, Art Bio, Fossil Group, blah blah blah. Purdue. All right, they work with some big people. So here are the customers: CBS, Seattle Mariners, Dave and Buster's, Calibre, Ingram, Tronics, L3 Harris, Magellan, Hologit, Eden Rock, Quest, Diagnostics, MCR. So you can go check out who they partner with and see if they got jobs on there. All right. So before I continue, we're gonna get into quantum computing here. Yep. Click the likes. Hit the likes. All right. So Columbia's first quantum computer, advancing education and technology. Now, I've mentioned this before about quantum computing, where again, was it 100 billion that needed to be spent by the DOE? Was it 2026 or 2025 or something like that? You got 100 billion to spend, I think, by 2025 or 2026, right? And they were looking for everybody. Yeah, by 2026, 100 billion. You can't figure out where you fit in at. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so one of them was quantum computing. All right, Ali, you knew here, man. You knew. You asked where do I think the market is going? I got so many videos and talk about things so much. I've already said it. I already told you. Quantum computing is one. AI is just AI is just getting started, but quantum computing is gonna be next. The next one after that is edge computing. I've already told y'all about edge computing, satellites, uh, cryptography within those satellites, cryptography within the edge. Overall, everything that is. I just did the whole Gartner report. You gotta go back and watch the videos. Let me pull that up for you so you can go back and watch the videos. Whenever you get a chance, you can go download this for yourself. The Gartner report talks about right here seven disruptions you may not see coming from 2023 to 2028. And they also talk about here what the magnitudes of those disruptions are and how they relate. You can go download this for yourself. um Again, the space, the race space is unbelievable, and I don't even think you all are paying attention to it, especially when we're talking about edge devices and so forth, and sensors and waves. Right, generative AI is just one piece, but yeah, we're way beyond that. Geomagnetic storm impact from solar flares. We'll keep going on that. AI driven legacy modernization, of course, I went into that. Regulated AI, we talked about that. The golden age of the civil workers, 50 and older. What does that look like? Because those people have boomer knowledge and millennial knowledge. So they kind of fall in that sweet spot. Right. Um Keep going. Laggards and leapfrog startups on sale. But again, the space mission. I'm gonna pull this up about what I'm talking about here, so y'all can get a good idea of what I'm really talking about here, right? Quantum is one. Um, so I don't know if y'all been paying attention to this company, Anduril, Anduril. They raised 1 billion to rebuild its arsenal. Um, See, they hit a $14 billion valuation. Um, they also did an alliance with Microsoft for 14 billion. Let me see right here. Andrew awarded defense production contract with the Department of Defense for 250 million for that one. They've also won other contracts for 350 million. They also won other contracts for 1 billion as well too. Um, you just got 4 days ago 100 million with the CDAO to scale edge data, and they're also merging uh, with Palantir, which I talked about last week. So you want to know where the market is going? Psh, it's right there in your face. All right. Palantir, Andrew form a new alliance to merge AI capabilities for defense contractors. So they in cahoots together. Um, to do work. The CDAO offered them 100 million on edge integration service capabilities, right? The company is also heavily involved in the Pentagon's Replicator initiative. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that, which aims to field thousands of drones and counter drone systems to counter China's military buildup. Palantir was awarded a $480 million contract with the Maven Smart system, as well too. The company also won $178 million deal for the next phase of tactical intelligence target access node. Very, very much in the mix of all of this right now. So just FYI on that. Palantir awarded contracts for the Army Robotic Combat Vehicle Software System Integration. And then going to that, I also showed you all this one here with Pulsar. Where's that guy at? Let me see if I can find that video. It's not up here. Let me just do Pulsar. Not Pulsar Vision. They had a sensor. I have to go back and find it. I just did a video on it a couple of weeks ago. But Pulsar, Palantir, and Anduril are the three that I will be watching and learning the tech that they have involved with that. Um, Anduril based out of Costa Mesa, Arizona. So they have air system, underwater vehicles, rocket motors, all that stuff. That's what they're looking at. All right, and then if they say we're hiring, you can click on we're hiring. I don't know why that's taking so long. I don't know why that's taking so long. Mm-hmm. Is this it? Yeah, I got it up right here because I was looking at it myself. I was going through their jobs. Um, you can set their locations here, right? And then you can search their jobs by department, program manager, people, whatever you're looking for. Oh, California, not Arizona. But you can also look at the stuff that they do on YouTube as well too. Right. So let's go here. Yeah, oh, it was Android. That's what it was. The Road Runner. Well, that was one of them. You can't hear on these. No, you can only hear in tabs on Chrome, but you can hear everything in Safari. And this gets into autonomous vehicles. So there was a big award for autonomous vehicles as well too. So then there's also little companies, and I tell y'all be looking at big companies. Small companies are the other one. Pico Grid receives first delivery order from new $1 billion Space Force program. Came out October the 2nd. Again, space. You want to know what's going on with the space budget? So you space. Um, the U.S. Space Force fiscal year for 2024, the budget was 29 billion, which is less than 30 billion requested. That is broken down to 4 billion in inside of procurement 18.6 billion inside of research and development, right? T&E. National security space launch 2 billion, which was cut from 45. Research and development 80 million, tactically responsive space system 50 million, and defense innovation budget unit $840 million increase. That's for 2024. 2025 budget is already out as well too. So again, I'm just letting you know that these budgets come out every year, right? Space budget for 2025 right here. It's right there. It's a whole PDF on it. This is public, not it's nothing I'm hiding. I'm not logged into anything. FY25 administration requested 29.6 billion for Space Force, right? So then you talk about space and the mission to Mars, right? Mission to Mars with internet. All right. All right. So the future of Mars and being able to have a network on Mars and being able to have people live on Mars, that is that is a thing. Here's how to build an internet on Mars. Also to the moon as well too. That is one of the big things is going to the moon and slingshot shot into Mars. So the mission to the moon is also a big one. So while we're down here talking about who gonna be who's going 50-50 or being friendly, fit, and submissive, we might get left. You might get left on the dying planet. Get in the game. You wanna keep up with stuff like this right here. Um because I'm a avid reader of information. Um, Let me pull this up real quick. That's not what I meant to do. Meant to do this, and then let me switch over. Hmm. And then let me pull up this. It's called MIT. It's MIT Technology Review. It's called Tech AI. It's happening in May, right? It's on the MIT campus, where they're gonna bring in leaders and so forth to talk about AI, the future, so forth and so on. But what I'm really mentioning here is MIT Technology Review magazine. So if you hit here, um, things that they're looking at, every one of your major colleges have a or contribute to some type of magazine where they got research and development and so forth and so on, right? Right. So the U.S. Department of Defense investigating deep fake alternative meat and how it could help the climate, right? Looking at just what people are looking at, why AI could eat quantum computing's lunch. AI can create a replica of your personality. AI hype, the weeds of winning, how refrigeration ruined fresh food. Just a whole deep of just different things, different thoughts where people are at. And then just, I cross reference these things with information from this group here. Let me go back and um all right, so let me pull this up. So I then made tack on this group here. It's called The Information, where They talk about just they collect, their whole goal is they collect data and then form their thoughts and opinion based on the data. And so I'll read through their perspective, their thoughts on what they got back for data and so forth, right? Um and then they actually go into like the rush to AI open doors to cyber attacks. Um Amazon tries to lure cloud customers away from Nvidia because Nvidia has their own cloud. Um, Microsoft AI software sales open AI deal targeted by FTC probe, and now you got this Khloe Kardashian is launching a high protein popcorn brand. What's the data behind it in which she's launching this brand and how they're going to market that, right? Meta to farm out design for mixed reality devices shifts some production to China, and then the list goes on, just giving you like a slew of just different things, um, of how and where things are landing and where things are going. Then I hit you all with the um Fed Scoop stuff, right? And then I got 10 other sites that I pull data and stuff from, just to keep up on what's going on. Um, right. And here, bipartisan national quantum initiative reauthorization introduced in the Senate. Um, the IoT cybersecurity, so the edge cybersecurity, right? IoT cybersecurity requirements. That's the edge requirements. And then we just keep going, and I can end up in a rabbit hole for hours on, well, what does that look like, and where are people going with that? Bridge gaps in OT security, right? So there's so many gaps when we're talking about skills. There's just so many gaps, right? All right. So I hope I didn't close my thing. I didn't. All right, cool. We'll close that. So Columbia, advancing education, research, and technological innovation. They're talking about their first quantum computer, what effect that's going to have, what they're looking at, what they're doing. To then also come over here to say Chicago wants to build Silicon Valley, of quantum computing, right? So they're looking. I can't read it, but Chicago is looking to create a quantum computing workforce. Now, I told you all about the K through 12 program. Um, for quantum computing, right? So that is a national. It's a nat. Is this is considered a nat? It is considered a national threat to security by not having by not having uh skill sets in quantum computing, right? So quantum computing education at K through 12 levels is just getting started. Currently, Q through 12 community is focused on developing both informal and formal learnings. So they have a whole K through 12 program that you could put in the schools, especially in the Black community, where you can be the leader in those communities and getting quantum computing being taught at a kindergarten level all the way to 12th grade with an add-on. They already have the curriculum. You don't have to go and create it. It's already there. It's already there. This came out in 2023, right? It is talking about why K through 12 must invest in teaching quantum computing today. But the first thing that everybody must learn how to do is read and comprehend. If we can't read, then we're not going to be able to work with formulas. A person, I haven't seen it. I'm not saying it don't exist, but I'm pretty sure the person that don't know how to read does not understand if 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 2x plus y equals 3, solve for x. Like, I don't know if anybody knows how to do that if they don't know how to read. I'm just saying. I've seen Stranger Things, but I'm gonna say they don't. I'm just I'm gonna put $100 out there. All right. Americans have forgot about $1.65 trillion in retirement savings. Here's how to find and reclaim your lost money. So when you all hop jobs, you leave behind your 401ks. Go back and get those that's your money you earn. That's the money you earn. So go back and get that money. Go back and have that money work for you. Go back and have that money come out there and work for you. Solid steps to wealth. Glad you could join us. Right? Commercial real estate has beaten the stock market, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Boo, 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 blah, 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 blah. I'll say, okay, how to track. A simple way to find your unclaimed retirement money is coming soon. The Secure Act 2.0 mandates that the creation of retirement savings lost and found database. This will help 401k recipients and beneficiaries find their money. Let me tell you a true story. When I worked at University of Washington, I left there and I was probably working in. I'd probably been 7 or 8, about 7 years later. The guy, he's like, "We finally was able to track you down. You have been hard to get in touch with." It's like your money is out here. Do you want it? I said, "How much is out there?" He was like, you have $10,000 in this account." I was like, "For real?" I didn't even know it existed. But I never looked at my paycheck stub. My money just went to an account and it did its thing, and I was fine. All right. So go out there and get your money. All right. What are billionaires doing? Look up that. Billionaires are selling Palantir stock and buying a stock split AI stock up 525% in 4 years. Certain billionaire led hedge funds sold shares of Palantir. I hate when it does that. Sold shares of Palantir and bought into Arista Networks during the third quarter. Palantir's artificial intelligence platform has supercharged its business, but the stock still looks absurdly expensive at its current evaluation. Palantir went from $16 earlier this year to, I think it closed at 67 the other day. I don't know what it closed at today. I mean on Friday. Now, Arista is the leader in high speed Ethernet switches, which positions the company to benefit as business invest in artificial intelligence infrastructure. Palantir has been one of the hottest stocks in the market this year. However, Arista Networks, ANET, ANET is the sticker, a company that conducted a 4-to-1 split on December the 4th, and has been better performer over the last 4 years. So go check them out. ANET. Right? How much are they now? Let's go. Google find it. Let's see. ANET. $108. And they just did a 4-1 split. They just did a split. So let's see. Year to date. Let me see how long they've been around. Had it been a month, 6 months, a year, 1 year? Can I get 5? Max. Okay, they look like they've been out, I don't know, probably around 2016 to now. One 101 on the other day, 108 yesterday. So you may want to buy the dip. They're expensive at $108. Let's go Palantir. Palantir is 76. The was 67. It's 76 now. It's hitting. I don't know, folks. Palantir is doing this thing. Let me see how many shares I got. I don't think I got a lot. But I will buy them for the next 5 years. Let me look. I only got 11 shares of Palantir. But I got 150% return on Palantir. It looks like I got it automated. I didn't even realize I automated it. I buy $100 a month of Palantir. I didn't realize I had automated it. I don't know. How do I see when I bought it? I don't know. I just got at my average cost is $30.92. They don't tell me when I bought it though. He already got a lot of government contracts. We're about to get into that in a minute. RKLB, Rocket Lab. Look like they pretty new. 2021. They shot up. They shot up from $9 to $24. That's crazy. What I have y'all been keeping up with what our senators and governors are doing? I mean, our senators and so forth are doing. Oh no, I don't know. It's freezing up on me. I think my computer gonna about to die. And I have a new one. I just ain't even opened it up yet. I don't know if y'all keep up with them. The senator stocks right here. What they trade, what they doing. What's going on with them? I don't know if y'all keep up with this. The senator stock watcher. You can do a summary by senator. You want to know what Rick Scott is doing? He got 35 transactions, but Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat from Rhode Island, got 652 transactions. What you doing, Sheldon? Purchased 368 million. Purchased, sold 480 of what? Say top 10 traded ticker volumes. Apple, Facebook, GILDNSGERT, Bib, MC, Chip, MC, HMP, Netflix, IBM, and then it shows you the sale and the purchase. So the purchase of LNKD on one, that was a 2014. Let me see if I can get it from this year. I need for it to sort. What a little sort. Why they ain't got it up here at the top? Sort. And then you get a summary by ticker. Alibaba Group, Cleveland Cliffs Inc. And somebody sell. You can look and see who sold what. And house sticker, house stock watcher, what the house is doing as well. And then summary by state. Representative and trades, and what trades were they in. Right? Right? So that Chicago billions. All right. So we're gonna wrap up here. This is gonna be our last run on these on here. All right, the average net worth by age. How do you measure up? How many of y'all have collected your net worth? How you do you have a spreadsheet out there that you use to evaluate your net worth? How do you know where you're going wealth wise? How do you all look at that? How do you know where you're at? How many of you don't care? Might not care. Might not care. All right, so let's look at it. Are you rich? The average net worth by age can help you benchmark your financial success against your peers and aid in retirement planning. But when most people hear the term net worth, their thoughts turn to the world richest people, billionaires like investor Warren Buffett and superstar singer songwriter Taylor Swift. However, regular folks with 401ks, investment portfolios, and real estate holdings have a net worth too. And there's a lot you can learn from your financial strength by calculating your net worth and seeing where you stack up against others. Right? I don't know. I don't know who that is knocking on the door. Uh, Interesting. Net worth isn't just about telling up at your assets you own, such as your retirement savings, shares, publicly traded stock, or the Ferrari parked in your driveway. You must plug your debt into the equation. Net worth is the difference between your assets and your liabilities, right? I've seen that on EYL where they say assets over liabilities. Uh, 1 second, please. I don't know who that is. Net worth isn't it just oh yeah, so you saw that on EYL. Net worth is the difference between your assets and your liabilities. Put another way, it is what you own minus what you owe. Both inputs give you more complete picture of your financial situation. For example, if you have $500,000 in your 401k and own a home that's worth 500,000 and drive a BMW worth 100,000, it means that your total assets is 1.1 million. But if you owe 400,000 on your house and 50,000 on your car and $10,000 on your credit card, that adds up to 460 in liabilities. When you do the math, you realize your net worth is 1.1 million, but rather than 640,000. Okay. Average net worth stats. All right, let's go. How do y'all measure up? If you're younger than 35, the average net worth is 183,000, but the median, meaning like just in the road, in the middle of the road, like they just took it and all the numbers and picked the number in the middle, is 39,000. But if your average net worth, if you're 30 younger than 35, your average amongst your peers is 183,000. If you're between 35 and 44, your average is 549,000. Mind you, that some of this is your maybe your house, and the median is 135,600, right? 135,600. All right. Next one is 55 to 64. 1 point, I mean 45 to 54, 975,000 to 975,000, 976,000, and then the median is 247,000. If you're 55 to 64, that's 1.5 million or 1.6 million, and the median is 364. And 65 to 74, 1.7, and median 409, and 75 or older 1.6. Says the I guess the average net worth for all ages is 100,000, and I mean 1.1 million or 1.063, or the median would be 192,000 or 193 if you want to round up. So how do you fall in comparison to those numbers, right? Again, what makes up the net worth? Your assets, cash, retirement accounts, life insurance. And I'm assuming in here they're talking about whole life insurance. I don't think your life insurance policy is your net worth. If that's the case, then that's crazy. I think it's what they're talking about. Let's look that up, because I think they're talking about your whole life, your cash value in your whole life insurance. It says the cash value of your permanent life insurance, like whole life or universal life, can accumulate cash. I was like, not the death benefit. It says portfolio value, the death benefit from a life insurance policy increases the value of your portfolio after you pass away, right? But your current is based on the cash value of your life insurance policy. Investments, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, CDs, home, the market value of your homes and property, cars, jewelry, and other collectible items. So, how much is your car worth versus um I mean not retail, but the resale value on your car? That's what they're looking at. Liabilities, mortgages, home equity loans, or home equity lines of credit, credit cards, installment loans, such as money you borrow to buy a car or pay a college tuition. So the household net worth by decade. In your 20s, your average net worth is 110. In your 30s, 309. In your 40s, look at that big jump. 760,000, 776,000. In your 50s, 1.3, 60s, 1.6, 1.6, and then your 80s, they kind of show you dwindling now. But on the median side, you're in your 20s is 7,500, which I think most people probably fall in their 20s, early 20s. 30s, 35,000, 40s, 124, 50s, 287,000, 60s, 439. And then look at that big drop from your 60s to your 70s, from 439 to 367. And then it goes down after that. And this came from Empower, right? It came from Empower. So how many of y'all know how to build up your net worth? How many of y'all have looked at your net worth? I ain't get no response. So I'm assuming y'all have never looked at your net worth. You're just like Tameika. Every day I'm just trying to figure out how to pay my bills, learn Linux, and stay ahead. And that's okay. But there's still more that you got to do. Remember, we're not here to work, we're here to thrive. So how do we thrive in our positions? How do we thrive with the jobs that we have? How do we thrive with the knowledge that we have? How do you do that? So let's go. Um, Buying assets that can come in multiple ways. Watches. Um, most people don't want to say cars because they're like, oh, buying a car is a liability. Well, depends on the car. Depends on the car. A house, land. It could be an inheritance as well as an asset. It could be an inherited 401k. It could be an inherited IRA. It could be property. It could also be somebody pass down some CDs, or they um, pass down CDs, or they pass down mutual funds, or what have you. Maybe somebody buys stock in Apple, and when they pass away, they give you their brokerage account, their portfolio, or whatnot. Right? Imagine somebody passing away, and they left you a portfolio of Apple and Microsoft, and they held it for the last 15 years, and they passed away. Right? All right, so look, I just want to see if it existed out there. Okay, yeah. So I just did a quick search here. I'm like, so I wanted to know what's the largest inheritance of Apple. I just want to see who inherited like a large sum of Apple. Lauren Powell Jobs inherited the large inheritance of Apple when she received 5.5 million shares of Apple uh, from Steve Jobs when he died in 2011. The estimated value today is 14.4 billion. Powell Jobs said that she doesn't plan to pass her late husband's fortune to any of his children. She also said if she lives long enough, the fortune will end with her. She said, you ain't getting shit. I don't make the rules. Right? She inherited his fortune and said, ain't doing nothing. She said it has grown, which has grown to 14.4 billion. This is in March of 2016. So let's go look at her. I'm just curious as to what she's doing lately. Cause she said the kids ain't getting nothing. Founder and chair of Immersive Collective and XQ Institute. She's 61. Her net worth is $15.8 billion. The children are Eve, Reed, and Aaron. But she ain't leaving them nothing. She said they can get on. She like the song. I think you better leave me alone. Pack your bags. Laura said I ain't got time for it. It's Q Institute right here. Yep. STEM focused schools. She said, not if I can help it. This money gonna stay ends with me. Hey, ain't nothing you can do about it either. All right. 401k. Oh yeah, we was here. All right. So the next piece is take advantage of your workplace retirement plans, your 401ks, your so forth. Don't load up on debt and own your own business. Own your own business, right? Own your own business. They said in nearly 2022, half of the families in the top decile, decile, yeah, of net worth owned a privately held business. Not everybody, of course, will be successful as Elon Musk, but starting a business that you can sell and make money, scale and make money while others work for you is important. So, see, read more. Yeah, nothing happens when I hit on read more. All right, millennials, you all are finally joining the 401k millionaire club. Here's how they got there. In the third quarter, the overall number of 401k millionaires rose to 9.5. And here's how they got there. Millennials are the ones are all grown up, hitting new milestones, and now the first members of the generation have reached the 401. These are the geriatric millennials. The geriatric have hit millionaire status 1981 to 1996. Millennials represent less than 2% of Fidelity's total millionaire population, with an average 401k balance of for that group at 66,000, with a median at 24,000. Won't let me read more. Oh, yes, it will. I do have Market Watch. Hold on. I am a Market Watch user. Let me log in. Let me log in for the Market Watch. Yep. Let's go. All right. So the total number of 401k millionaires of all generations increased by 9.5% to 544,000 in the third quarter, up from 2024, up from 597,000 in the second quarter. People with 1 million in the IRA, meanwhile, increased 5%. All right. And so this is coming out of Fidelity. This is just strictly Fidelity numbers. Right. The average 401k millionaire has been contributing to their account for 25 years, and saves an annual rate of 17% of their income, Fidelity says. That savings rate is above the total average of saving rates of 14.1, including employee employer contributions, Fidelity said. At, at that a rate that has held steady in recent years and is close to Fidelity's suggested savings of 15%. Fidelity report arrives amid rising concern about how people will fund their retirements. Um, yeah, we have to have a discussion about that. With traditional pensions less common, workers rely more heavily on money they have saved in their retirement, such as the 401k, IRAs, or 401bs. The cost of healthcare in retirement is also a source of worry for many Americans. The 65-year-old retiring this year can expect to spend an average of 165,000 on healthcare and medical expenses and so forth. Whether a $1 million is an appropriate retirement goal, savings goal varies by the individual and lifestyle, right? American adults suspect that on average they need 1.46 million to retire, a 15% increase and 54% jump from American said in 2020. Right? So they went into like more like Gen X and so forth. But let me close this. I want to go to, is it this one? Nah, it's not that one. Oh yeah. I mentioned this. A lady got drained of $600,000, her entire life savings for her from her account, and she had repeated warnings. 600,000. An elderly woman has lost her life savings to a sophisticated scam amid warnings from J.P. Chase Morgan and Morgan Stanley. The retired therapist Judith Bonavent lost about 600,000 after scammers made her believe she was an integral part of the undercover government operation. Bovin says the bad actors made her believe she was working on a mission with the FBI to take down a Mexican cartel involved in selling illegal drugs and laundering money. Right? This could be you. Y'all better get people out there to help you. Okay? Okay. They said to avoid raising suspicion, she withdrew $10,000 to $20,000 from these accounts per visit. Bonvin said she delivered most of her cash in a brown bag to couriers at a nearby parking lot, believing the FBI was keeping watch. How, Sway? How? She said she delivered most of her cash inside a brown paper bag to couriers. She ain't gonna get this money back, believing the FBI was keeping watch. Morgan Stanley says Bonavent couldn't be dissuaded, even though the bank took several steps to keep her from losing her funds to fraud, including putting a brief hold on her account and notifying family members and the authorities. D, you silly. It was the best 600K adventure she ever had. 600K? I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad now at my bill. I'm mad now at my bill. I'm mad now at my bill. I'm looking over my bill now. Nah. Even if and they contacted her people. So I'm gonna say this now, deep. If I come to you and I be like, I gotta get this money out and take it to this courier that's sitting in this parking lot. Go on and hit me with a sleeping sedative or something like that. Be like, rest your head, young. Rest your head. You need to rest your eyes. That's what you say. You need to rest your eyes. No, Purple Rain, not. This is the FBI showing up because I would be looking like, take me to the headquarters, meet me in DC, and let's go on the head and let's walk in the headquarters together. You escort me in. If I got 600,000, I can catch a plane ticket and meet you in DC. You gonna escort me in? I want to see your peoples. Shh, it's an FBI sting. No. All right. So this one I also looked up the 401k balance for retirees 65 and older. I'm just gonna shoot down here to the numbers real quick. Oh, did I pass it? Do 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 do. That ain't it. All right, it says, and this is 65 and older right here. It says the average person age 65 and older has 272,000 in his or her 401k, according to the latest data from Vanguard. This is from Vanguard. And this is significantly higher than the national average, I guess, of 232,000 for this age group at the end of 2022. All right. It says also the median is 88,000. Mathematically, this means half of the participants have less than 88,000 in their accounts, while half have more. Right? So, you got to find a sweet spot for your stuff out here. All right, I'm not going to continue this one. I'm going to talk about this guy right here. Oh man, I've closed him out. Financial Samurai. I want to talk about him next week. And we'll talk about VMware next week too. But Financial Samurai, I want to talk about him because I've used his data points before. And there's an article out about him. He's 34 years old, Asian guy. And they talk about how he became a millionaire and so forth. Well, I'll do a deep dive on him next week. I think he will be my deep dive, and we'll go through his website and so forth and so on. Not advertising him. I'm just talking about some of his thought process and how he collects data and how it relates to us. Because I don't know, some of you are new. There's an article he did with Asians versus blacks. Financial Samurai. Right. And he did one. It's showcasing that if you are black with a master's, it is equivalent to an Asian having a high school diploma. Meaning that's what you would need to match your overall wealth. So a black person with a master's degree versus an Asian person that graduated from high school. And it was on one of the articles here. I'll go back through my thing. So this one's right here, income by race. And we'll talk about it because I don't think a lot of people realize who he is and what that looks like. Now, I showed you this stuff here, the real median income by race. Remember where I showed this video? I mean, this graphic here. I think last week or week before last, where blacks were at 45 and Asians were at 98. Right. What's great about this latest income by race is that all races have seen a healthy rise since 2013. However, there is a widening gap between median Asian income, the median income for all races, and median black income. Asian median household income is more than double the black median household income and 75% higher than the Hispanic. Why is the income pulling away? Smaller population, less weight. Asians account for 6% of American population. One stark example of this of the benefit of having a smaller population is taking a look at Singapore. The Singapore GDP and so forth. Asian immigrants can't who afford to come to America tend to be wealthier. It costs money to flee a country for a better opportunity. My 23-year-old neighbor from China who bought a $2.25 million house is an example. If you're poor, you're stuck. Because the US is viewed as having the best universities in the world, many wealthier Asian parents send their kids here, Australia and the UK. If you can afford to pay the U.S. private schools out of state tuition, you're probably wealthier than the median person. There's less financial aid for international students. In fact, many colleges purposefully try and court international students because of their top dollar and top pay. Tremendous focus on education in the Asian households. Education is emphasized more than anything in Asian households. Get good grades, go to college, or else be a disappointment. We're over here talking about getting trades, and I get it, but that's not what people are competing at. It's a reason why people are paying millions of dollars to have somebody take their SAT for their child to get into college, and they tell y'all something different. Ever wonder why there's also many Asian dentists, doctors, and lawyers? More education is correlated with higher income and wealth. And the 2013 Nielsen report found that Asian American households have a net worth of $89,000 compared to $68,000 overall in U.S. households, a 30% difference. Meanwhile, roughly 49% of Asians have a bachelor's degree versus 28% of the U.S. population. I keep trying to tell y'all, education, education, education. If you want to read the best of the book Achieving Financial Freedom, blah blah blah, read that, right. All right, then it's him hyping himself up. All right, 4. Working people in each household. How do you afford to live in Hawaii? There are few high paying jobs. Multiple incomes in one roof. It's not uncommon to see a father, mother, adult son, wife, her brother, and his wife all living under one household. I witnessed that when I lived in Hawaii. The whole entire family lives together. The wife and the husband get a room. The other wife and husband get another room. Then somebody else get another room. They all sit around in the living room. They all get up and go to work. They all celebrate together. They all do everything together. We the only ones that be like, my child got to get out when they 23. My child can't live with me to when I'm this X, Y, and Z. Get married, stay in the same house, build up wealth. Cut all your all your to me, all the cousins need to live together. If you ask me, all the cousins need to live. Just go get a bigger place where everybody can spread out. Now, what happens when you date? You don't bring everybody home. Why? Because you know they got to be, one, down with the family, and two, they gotta come in. They automatically got to come in providing something. You can't, if you live in the house with everybody else that's working, you're not gonna bring home nobody else that's not working. The standard raises up. Your standard of what you who you date. You be like, I can't take you to my house. You can't come here. You can't come here. You ain't got no job. You ain't got no plans. No, you can't meet my family. We having family dinner tonight. You ain't gonna be sitting there at the family dinner with your boyfriend, and he talking about he ain't got no job. They're gonna They're gonna be like, so what's your plan? Same way with a woman. What's your plan? All right, it says multiple incomes on one roof. It's not uncommon to see a mother, to see a father, a mother, an adult son, and his wife all living together and work. It's common to see multiple generations under one roof in the Hispanic community as well. Family versus independence from family is highly emphasized, right? And then I guess this is the breakdown of, I guess, just the U.S. population in general. What is considered Asian? What is considered Asian? The pushback from academics and Asian people is the classification of the word Asian. Thai culture is very different than Chinese culture. Japanese culture is different from Filipino culture. Every Asian race has its own language and can't be easily understood by another Asian. Meanwhile, some Asian countries like India have 22 official languages, 150 languages spoken by a sizable population. And then they go through the many different groups and groupings of Asians, right? Here they also have US Asians have a wide medium level of income. If you look at all Asians, I guess, fall in between here, between 70 and 80, but the Indians are at 100K. The Chinese are at 70K, and Japanese right above. They're probably at 72, 73K right there. Filipino are at 80K, but the Indians are at 100K. Growing up in Asian America, experiences to shape the soul, Chinese versus Asia, blah, 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 so forth and so on. Just really overall look here. The expected growth population by 2060 is the white population will now be reduced from 62% to 40%. 31% will be the Hispanic population set to take over the white population. The African American population at 14%, steady wins the race. We steady stay at 14 to 17%. That's our thing. 8% for Asians, Asian and Pacific Islander, and 6% is two or more races, and Native Americans 1%. Purple Rain Indians do not know how to interact well with other races. There can be very brutal sometimes in their delivery. But I also think there's a difference in how they interact with technology, right? There's a difference in how they interact with technology. Just my observation from me working with them. And it says here, Asians are allergic to debt. It says why Asian Americans save and earn so much. One, they're allergic to debt. Lots of historical uncertainty and upheaval. Fewer Asians in leadership positions. When there are hardly any Asian American politicians, actors, and CEOs, it's more difficult to visualize yourself as a kid. Blah blah blah. Family finances are extremely important. Sports is not a realistic way out. Shots fired. Academics is the main level playing field to compete. If you study harder, you will likely get better grades. Better grades will likely get you into better university. If you get into a better university, you'll likely get a better job and make more money. Asians that hold bachelor's degrees, this is as of 2010, 49%, blacks at 18, whites at, US population at 28, Asians at 49, whites at 31, blacks at 18. Yeah, education will always trump everything. I don't care what nobody tells y'all. And education comes in many forms, a certificate or degree or what have you. But the ability to read and comprehend and apply your knowledge will always, always out trump everything. Will it out trump a network? No, it would not out trump a network, but it is also a great way to get into a network. It is a great way to get into a network. Do 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 do, and he goes on and on. I'll really go into this a little bit more because I said there is a lot of information here. There's a lot that I want to cover off this website. I've used it before as a reference, but the person that owns it, he's 34. He is on I found him on CNBC as the owner this morning. I was like, oh, I want to talk about him, but we'll get into him a little bit more come next week. But again, I just wanted to bring that up so it gives you some thought process. I posted on the community wall about education. Read it. The U.S. Labor Department of Statistics tell you, um, black men, if you think education is not important, think again. Those that have, I think it's those that have uh, master's degrees out earn out earn their counterparts by 1.5 million in their lifetime. For women, I think it was 930. Um, for those that have high school diplomas or don't have high school diplomas, I should say, your earnings are significantly less. In fact, the information targeted towards you as you don't have a high school diploma, the outlook of the jobs are all service jobs. Let's be clear, most black people work in the service industry, and that's will be mostly affected and vastly affected by AI. They'll be vastly affected by just in general, just the automation of work itself, not necessarily AI, but automation of work, um by a long shot. And I did this week. What job employs most black people? And who do y'all think it is? I know some of y'all gonna say the federal government, but let's give you what it is, and then I'm out. Just food for thought. Just food for thought. All right. What job employed by most people? What's the job you all are employed by most black people? Service job, the largest occupational group for black workers includes healthcare, support, food preparation, personal care, and building and ground maintenance. Transit and health and security occupation, black workers make up a large share of these occupations, including postal service clerks, transit and intercity bus drivers, nursing assistants, security guards, and home health aides. Public sector, black workers are more likely to be employed by public sector than non-black workers, and they earn higher wages in that industry and in retail, healthcare, accommodation, and food services. Right. Um, but what company employs the most black people? All right, so Amazon, mm, 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 mm. So we got Amazon and FedEx. That's what y'all go to. Warehouse and driving. That's your go to. And then followed by somebody mentioned Walmart. Walmart does employ black people, but not as much as FedEx and what you call it. Let's look at see how many black people work at Walmart. Walmart is the largest private employer of Black and African Americans in the United States, with 20% of the workforce identified as Black and African American. More than 50% of the U.S. workforce identifies as people of color. So FedEx, Amazon, Walmart. That's where y'all work at. I don't make the rules, but we not employed. Let's see. I know we employed at NVIDIA, but how many? Identified about 2.4%. 2.4%. It went from 1.1 to 2.4. Spanish 3.3. Yeah, Amazon got a lot of IT people, but I think that's only in the regions. All right. Last but not least, what company employs the least amount of black workers? Executive level disparity. We know that in tech companies, tech in general. Okay, the 20 largest public U.S. companies without a black person on their board. Oh, we know that. Boards, we don't get the boards. Yeah, we don't get to the boardroom. Procter and Gamble, Nvidia, Cisco, Adobe, Oracle, Bristol Myers, Broadcom, Danaher, Phillips Morris, Qualcomm, Intuit, ServiceNow, FitServe, Automatic Data Processing, TJX, Micron, Equinix, and Micron, and then CSX. We do not make it to the boardroom. That's what the action is at. That's where the action is at. So you got to figure out, like I said, y'all told y'all before, which one you want to be, a builder or a maintainer, and do you want to work or do you want to thrive? That's it. That's it. I did a CTO series, Purple Rain, years ago. It's on YouTube. I went and explored, like, what is it like for a person to be a CTO? What does it take? How do we get there? What does it look like? Because I never saw CTOs that were black in any of these companies. It's very rare that I saw a black CTO. I can count on one hand how many I've seen. Right? The only way we become vice presidents and board members is we create. You have to create. What do you create with? What do you do? How does that look? What does that look like? That's on you. Government contracting, uh, executive, and maybe some of y'all don't want to do any of those things. Maybe you just want to work. Maybe you just want to be a worker bee. It's okay. How many of y'all would choose to be a worker bee versus sitting on a board? Right. So suppose you could get a job paying you 200 an hour, and to sit on the board would pay you 100,000 a year. Or would you do both? Who knows? Right. All right, y'all. It's been real. It's been fun. I'll talk about financial summary next week. Be prepared for that. I'll go deep dive into not just him, but just the data center around the information that he's found and so forth. All right, y'all have fun. Have a good day.